that we've come across. All right, so some basic assumptions. Individuals have the ability to self-regulate when they have awareness. That's the here and now thing. That is we're talking about what's in the room, and that's it. And so if they have that, they can self-regulate. But without awareness, they can't self-regulate. And so, said differently, awareness is the thing that people are lacking. That's what's causing trouble for them. The awareness of what is happening, the awareness is of what is happening in and around themselves, in their environment becomes important. Counseling is a space for this awareness to emerge and to be worked with. The counselor absolutely must trust the process and stay in the present, stay in the here and now. Contact with the environment. Okay, so Gestalt believes that there is this power that comes from our worlds. And when I say our worlds, I mean relationships with other people, I mean our work, I mean our families, those kinds of things. Well, healthy contact is interacting with nature and other people without losing individuality. And Gestalt, almost did it. Gestalt is really about creating boundaries, and so not over connecting with someone, not under connecting with someone. Having good, healthy, strong boundaries. But contact is absolutely required. Like, we can't avoid it. And so as the person, as the client is interacting with their environment, one of the things that is a part of their environment is counseling, is the counselor, is the helper. And so that contact between the helper and the helpee, the counselor and the client, that contact is what is helpful and will move the client along. All right, so here's a little bit about the relationship. So it's active partnership. A counselor does not assume an expert stance. They're meeting the client where they are. So this is not a counselor is above the client. They are very much equal. It's a partnership, but it is active. That, I think, is the important thing. And so as you watch this play out and watch Fritz Perl's work, you're going to see that activeness. Appropriate self-disclosure and sharing the perceptions with the client become important. So, client, as you're telling me this right now, I'm feeling like you're being elusive. I feel like you're not being honest with me and with yourself. Something like that. And so, as you say this, I feel this. And so some immediacy. It's very accepting of the person. So, and you'll see Fritz work, and it's going to not read as very accepting, but the more you watch it, if you watch it over and over, you will see that there's an acceptance, but it's very high in the challenging part, in this latter point. So there has to be a trusting relationship so that clients will do the work, that they'll go these places with the therapist. The person of the counselor is more important than the techniques used. And so this is a little bit like Rogers, where the how the counselor does his or her work is way more important. Their beliefs about the work, their buying into the theory, is much more important than the techniques. So some points here about the counselor or about the helper. So how a client speaks and moves is more important than what they say. And so it is definitely watching what the client is doing as they're talking. So the client in these instances is definitely listening to the words, The counselor is definitely listening to the client's words, but they're also watching with their eyes for incongruence. They're watching for their eyes, with their eyes, for the client to be saying, "I'm feeling super sad about this," but yet smiling while doing it. That's a incongruence that they would address. So awareness requires self-knowledge, knowledge of the environment, responsibility for choices, self-acceptance, an ability to contact. A counselor also needs to be able to integrate pieces of the personality that the client has forgotten about, has thrown aside, has disowned, and so maybe they've got a strength of some kind that they've refused to include in their life, or believe it's so mundane and so small that it's not valuable. Yeah, I can, let's say, knit, but that's not all that great of a thing. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe the act of knitting something and giving it to a family, a blanket to a family in January is important. Maybe it's a stress relief, things like that. So that's just kind of an example. Move clients from environmental support to self-support. As far as interventions, be in the here and now. Stay in the here and now. That becomes super important.